What's going on, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of the JuiceBox presented by LOCKCITY. You got Wighty here today. Happy Wednesday. Hopefully everyone's having a good week so far. Today we have episode, I think it's 314, 315, something like that, of the JuiceBox. It's of course going to be an outlook into your NBA best bets for today, which is Wednesday, January the 7th of 2026. Quick review in terms of yesterday's bets. We did go 1 and 2 on the JuiceBox, but we did manage to push the JuiceBox Lock across the line there. We had Evan Mobley over 19.5 total points, or 20 plus total points specifically at minus 124. That ended up coming through, but unfortunately Jeremiah Fears, we had him at over 12.5. He scored 9 total points. And then we had Anthony Davis 24.5 or over 23.5. He had 19 total points. So unfortunately we dropped the ball on those two. We're going to get you back with 3 winners here today. So without further ado, let's kind of hop into things. And of course, we're going to be using edgely.bet for this, our website for all things sports betting and sports data here. So without further ado, the first game that we're going to look at, we're going to slide up to games here and move over to Detroit and Chicago. I'll just click that. It's going to be a little bit quicker. The Detroit Pistons most recently cleaned up the New York Knicks on their home court. They won by 31 points a couple of nights ago. They're staying home for this one. It's going to be at Little Caesars Arena, going up against the Chicago Bulls. These teams, so obviously Detroit has a good amount of advantages pretty much across the board. Chicago does outpace Detroit. Technically, they have a higher field goal percentage or effective field goal percentage, and they shoot threes at a more often rate. I wouldn't say a more successful rate, but they shoot threes more often here. Coming into Detroit, so obviously Jalen Duren is still going to be out for the Pistons. Tobias Harris still going to be out for the Pistons. But they've been playing well without those two players. Like I said, they still beat the Knicks by 30. They've been looking great. They're on a roll here. The Chicago Bulls are going to be missing Giddey again. They were missing Giddey the first time that they saw Detroit. They lost by like 10, 11 points, something like that. And that was a game where Detroit was missing Cade. They were missing Ivy. They were missing Duren. They were missing everybody under the sun. And they still beat the Chicago Bulls here. So at home, I have no question that Detroit's going to win this game. They're going to win this game big. The first play that we're going to be going with today is going to be Detroit Pistons minus 10.5 spread. The best line that I could find on that, it's pretty much the same everywhere, but the best line that I could currently find on that was minus 110 on FanDuel. That's going to be our first play. It's going to be a 1-unit play here. The next one that we're going to talk about here, it's going to be one of our favorite plays of the day on Edgely as well. That's going to be the under. Let's just scroll down slightly. The under for the Pelicans and the Hawks game. So we're projecting 231 total points in this one. The over-under is super high. Obviously, the Pelicans played last night. We saw Trey Murphy put up 42 points. They're going in on a back-to-back into Atlanta here, and we're seeing a point total. This is actually slid up. It was 245.5 when we grabbed this for daily sheets. It's now up to 246.5. So for some reason, it's getting bet up here. I like the under in this all day long. Again, we have this projected at 231 total. New Orleans is on a back-to-back. These are two very offensively focused teams, but this total is just way too high. This should be around like 235, 238 probably, and I would still take the under on it. So our second play here, we're going to be going with under 246.5 total points for the Pelicans and the Atlanta Hawks. I really love this one. Might even make this the pick of the day in our Discord here, but I really love this under here. I think we're in line with what we're projecting on Edgely here, probably around 231 total points. This is going to be our second play, and again, this one's going to be a 1-unit play. That's going to bring us over to our JuiceBox Lock of the day. For the JuiceBox Lock, we're going to be looking at the Lakers and Spurs games. There's actually a lot of games here tonight, 12 total, so let me scroll down and find this one. For the Lakers and the Spurs, the Lakers obviously played last night. We saw LeBron and Luka put up 30 points each. Austin Reeves is still going to be out here. The Lakers don't have a ton of defense going on whatsoever. I wouldn't be surprised if LeBron maybe sat this out. He says he's going to play, but he also says he's a game-time decision for every single back-to-back this season at 41 years of age. So to be determined. Nonetheless, on the Spurs side of things, Wemby could potentially be out. I'll flip over to the table view for both of these teams here. Wemby could potentially be out for the Spurs. He played last night. He dropped 30 points in only like 21 minutes, and they sat him down the stretch the last 4 minutes of the game for the Spurs there, which ended up being to their detriment. But nonetheless, they ended up sitting Wemby to kind of save him, which makes me think that he might play today, might play like a typical 20 minutes or so. He's coming back from a knee hyperextension, is his most recent ailment. He sat out 2 games prior to last night's game where he played 20 points. He was super efficient there, but if he doesn't play, I think Stephon Castle's over-under sure is going to shoot up to about 20 or so. I like him where he's at right now. We have him listed as a point guard here, technically shooting guard split with De'Aaron Fox kind of running the point there, but the two kind of run it in tandem. They do both see a lot of usage in bringing the ball up here, but I think it's going to be a two-sided scoring affair from these two gentlemen tonight. On the De'Aaron Fox side of things, I don't trust him as much. We're going to be targeting Stephon Castle here. Stephon Castle against the Lakers, he scored 23 or more points in 3 of his last 4. He had a 30-point outing most recently against the Lakers. I think he had 18 the game prior to that. And then the 2 prior to that, he put up 23 and 23 against the Lakers. So I like Stephon Castle to do more damage tonight. Like I said, Lakers don't play defense. Luka doesn't play defense. We're not going to see a lot of guard defense here on the Spurs. So if Wemby sits out, I like it even more. Even if Wemby plays, I think Castle probably gets a 20 piece. What we're going to go with for our JuiceBox lock of the day here is going to be Stephon Castle over 17.5 total points. The best line that I could find for this one was on Bet365 minus 112, but go ahead and lock this one in, lock all 3 of these in. Looking forward to bringing y'all 3 winners, and we'll see y'all back here tomorrow. Peace.